Jada's back. Sorry about yesterday. Yeah, posting a video just did not happen. I overbooked my schedule. I went to the gym and everything. But it's all good because I'm here today. Sorry, finding my outline because y'all know I do not write it down. It is not happening at all. Okay. So today we are talking about how you cannot pour, well, first of all, quarter two is about becoming the vessel, okay? To be used by the Lord. Hello. And we are going to get into how you can't pour without healing all this month. And today we're talking about how productivity is not wholeness and you need to stop bleeding while you're serving. Come on, clock the T. Okay, so quarter one was all about receiving the promise, making room, choosing faith, learning how to steward what God's bringing into your life. But now we're getting into that different conversation because abundance doesn't just require opportunity, it also requires a wholeness within yourself. So just because you're functioning, it does not mean you are healed, honey. I would know. I have been a chronic, overproductive, wounded soul for many, many years in my life. Okay? I'm going to retwist that. Sorry. Distractions. Okay, so there have been a whole lot of seasons where I've looked productive on the outside, doing the most, doing everything, posting, building, working, showing up. But like on the inside, right, I was carrying exhaustion, unresolved emotions, wounds, and then I never really slowed down long enough to address them. And then that can get dangerous because productivity can distract you from pain while draining you at the same time. So in this video, we are going to talk about why productivity can become emotional avoidance, the difference between functioning and healing, and then why healing matters if you want to sustain abundance. Okay, so let's get into the main topic. Productivity is not wholeness. I repeat, productivity is not wholeness, okay? Productivity can become a mask. And so basically, like, being busy can make you feel valuable. Like, you feel like you're putting all this work in, you're doing this, that, the third, and you're getting your value out of that instead of taking value in identity as the child of Christ. And then, oh, hold up. When you stop giving like that in relationships, you realize they didn't like you. They liked what you were doing. They liked how you broke your back and bent over backwards for them. They don't care about you. You are chopped liver compared to that. And then achievement can also temporarily numb emotional pain. So like if you're accomplishing a whole lot and like doing good things, like you're going to get that dopamine boost. Like, yes, I did a good job. Yes, I got a gold sticker. You can get addicted to that feeling of feeling like you need to perform to get like the goodness in people and feeling like you need to perform to even get the goodness from God. Like you have to put in all this work to get God to love you when whole time God just loves you. Like that's final. Like God loves you. Like that's it. Now, obedience is how you can demonstrate your love to him, because how can you love him and not obey his word? But don't get so caught up in the works that you think that your works are producing his love. No, his love is already there. If anything, you are showing him that you love him when you are doing what he says and following his commands. You're showing him your love. His love is already there. It's perfect. It's good. He loves you. He gave his only begotten son so that you can have eternity with him. He loves you. That's it. You're not getting any more love or less love from God by being obedient versus disobedience or anything like that. God still loves you the same. Like that's all still there. If anything, you're demonstrating your love and your ability to show up for him when you're obedient and things like that. So constant movement also prevents reflection. When you are always on go, moving, running, shaking, doing all that stuff, you can rarely take the time to stop, rest, which is important. As a follower of Christ, you have to rest. He only takes rest away from the wicked. But like if you're righteous, the righteous receive rest and peace. And all of that is free. Like you don't have to work to get that. Like you can literally be still and know that he is Lord and take a step back and reflect on your own life and get your stuff together. So some people aren't healed. They're just occupied. And that's another thing you have to do when like you're looking at comparison about how everybody has all this stuff on social media. And even with like celebrities and stuff, you'll be like, oh, they have this, they have that. Why'd they kill themselves? Because they're not healing, they're producing. And that production is draining them to their bare bones. And now they're dead. RIP to a lot of them. Like, I really do hope God forgave them for what they did. But, you know, that's the danger of bleeding while serving. So when you avoid that healing, you're pouring from your own exhaustion, not your overflow. You're building while you're emotionally depleted. And then on top of that, you unintentionally transfer that unresolved pain into your leadership, your relationships, and your purpose. Like, those unhealed wounds eventually affect everything that you create. And I can speak from experience. So like I said, I've cut off a lot of friendships and stuff because I was producing and not healing in my life, and I would always put myself on the back burner and overgive and stuff to maintain the relationships, to prove that I cared and all this other stuff, when it's just like, you know, if these people in my life really gave a darn about me, like, oh, look at that, I said darn. The Lord's changing me, sorry, milestone. But like, if they really cared about me, they would see me in my exhaustion. They would see that I am exhausted, because like, other people around me, they saw I was exhausted. They're like, are you okay? Like, is everything cool? Like, cause there's a lot going on with you right now. Like, have you taken a moment? But it's like, the people that I thought were the closest to me, that knew me best, they didn't care nothing about my exhaustion. They didn't care how much I put myself on the back burner or let myself go so that they could feel good about themselves. Like, they did not care about that. Like, that was the last thing on their mind. And I could tell, because like, even talking to them, whenever it would be like issues and stuff, they're just pointing out all the stuff, like, you don't do this right and you don't do that right and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, you know, I could point out all of the things that you're not doing right in the relationship, but I also acknowledge that you have a lot on your plate right now, and everything you do within this relationship, it's not going to be perfect. So like, I'm allowing you your space to be imperfect, and we can address this later when you're in a better state. But it's like, none of that energy was returned back to me. And the second I cut off the overgiving and all of that stuff, it just revealed all the cracks in the relationship and how one-sided things were. And it's just like, I can't continue to keep giving and I don't have nothing left for myself. Like, I don't have nothing left for me after I'm done giving to you. And that's exactly where that unintentional transfer happens, because now it's like, I can't even go out and enjoy myself on the weekend and have a good time without overstimulating myself with like weed and alcohol now. And now I'm going off on everybody and snapping and stuff. But this isn't just because I'm going through things at home. It's because nobody's checking on me. I'm not being poured into, not by myself, not by my closest relationships. I am literally exhausted and tired and giving and giving. And I'm giving more by trying to be outside and do something for me. That's still me giving. And it's like, I can't even do that because I'm tired now. I'm completely maxed out. And so you have to understand that, like, you got to take a step back. And like, that's what I did for from March, April. And even now I'm still like kind of more secluded. Like, I'm not completely like off the street, but I am way more secluded than I was before. Like, I'll still go out and have a good time with my girls and stuff. But like, I'm also like, who are my girls? Because everybody ain't my girl. Like, some people are good time girls, and then you got your girls. And I'm realizing like, good time girls need to be way over there. Like, they don't need to be like they don't need to have easy access to me. And honestly, I don't need to have easy access to them unless it's about going out. And even then, it's just like, the going out I like to do, the good time girls like to do something else. I mean, if I'm in the mood for that, I'll go out with them. But like, we don't even align with our desires anymore. It's just like, nope. And then I got my girls who actually like do want to do the things I'm doing. They're on the same thing I'm on. They take themselves out. They have a good, like, we're like locked in mentally. Like, we're doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. Now, what does healing require? So healing is going to require that stillness. Like I said, you got to pull yourself back from everybody. And the people who love you and truly like care about you, they'll notice what you're doing. They'll ask about it, and you can just be honest with them and tell them like, hey, I'm pulling myself back right now because I need to heal. I need to figure out what flow is alignment for me. Like, I'm just figuring stuff out right now. And they'll respect it. And they'll be like, all right, well, let me know if you need, how I can help with that process. And that's one thing I am grateful for, the people that are in my life that have asked me like, hey, how can I help you through this? How can I pray for you? Like, you know, they're like really like they're a part of this with me. You know, they're telling me like, hey, you said you was going to be in by 10 all quarter. Like, you're not doing that. What's the problem? You know, like stuff like that. And I appreciate them because it matters. Okay, you got to be honest with yourself and with the people around you. So that includes cutting people off, distancing yourself, whatever. If anybody asks you a question about why you moving different, you can straight up tell them, I'm turning all of my energy toward myself right now. I'm not trying to overgive. I am not trying to give from exhaustion anymore. I only want to give from overflow. And for me to give from overflow, I first have to fill myself up, period. And you can just tell them that. You got to have, like I said, boundaries. You have to let people know, like, hey, you're a good time girl. You're going to be all the way over there. You my girl. You're going to be right here next to me, helping me get through this. I'm going to sleep tonight. Oh, I have these plans over here. I'm doing this. These are my boundaries. I don't tolerate certain things, like stuff like that. So boundaries for sure. Rest. Come on. Because rest is free. He only keeps the wicked up late at night with their guilt and their shame. If you're righteous, you should be sleeping like a baby. And lastly, that vulnerability with God. You have to be completely honest with him about where you are. If anybody is going to understand you and hold you and carry you through that season, it is the Lord. Like, completely fall on your knees, break down crying if you need to, like, but be vulnerable with God and tell him, hey, I'm hurting here, and here, and I need you to do surgery on my heart. I've had to ask God to do that plenty of times, over and over again. And I know I'm gonna have to do it, ask him to do it again and again, like later on in life. It's just part of the process and being in relationship with the Father. But wholeness is not a passive process. It's intentional work. You have to intentionally be like one with yourself, one with the Lord, and understand that like you are a whole person, and that whole person needs whole care. Okay? And you can't do that alone. So let's get into this scriptural anchor. Okay. Here's the Bible. Always the arms reach away. We're going to go to Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. So you know how we do. We go over here and we look it up because that's what we do. Okay, 577. 577. 577. All right. And chapter, what did I say? Chapter 11. All right, bet. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta shuck, jive, and finesse because I'm still reading Isaiah in the broadcast channel. If you are not a part of that broadcast channel, you need to join it. We are in Isaiah, and I'm on chapter. What chapter am I on? I'm on chapter 19, and we're doing 19 through 21 starting next week. Oh wait, I might be doing next week because I got a birthday party tonight. So next week is when we'll jump back into that. And it's chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. And it says, then Jesus said, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give to you is light. Y'all, that's facts. Literally, when you rest everything on the Lord, like he will be there for you. Oh, come on. Psalm 147, verse 3. I believe that is the one where it says, God is near to the brokenhearted and the crushed in spirit. And he saves those who are crushed in spirit. But Psalm 147, verse 3 says, I'm going to read it verbatim. You know, I got to get the verbatim out the Bible because it's just better when you read it directly out of the Bible. The text seems to jump off the page. And I love that. So, all right. 147 verse 3. 147. Ooh, the Psalms is long. The Psalms is long. Okay. Okay, he heals the brokenhearted and bandages their wounds. Okay, so that's a different psalm that I was thinking about with the crushed in spirit and whatnot. But that's what 147 says. He heals the brokenhearted and he bandages their wounds. God will do surgery on your heart if you let him. He truly will. He will go through it and pick out all the stuff that he don't like, that don't match up with him, and he will prune it. And a lot of times that causes you to lose relationships, but it's okay. And then the last scripture is going to be 3 John chapter 1, verse 2. And it says, first of all, Jonathan, 747. How many Johns is there? Because that was a popular name. It's plenty of them, but I said 747. We all up in Revelation. Where John at? Where John at? There's 3 John. Oh, yeah, we said chapter 1, verse 2. And it says, Dear friend, I hope all is well with you and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in spirit. Oh, John the Apostle. Okay, this is a short letter. It's a personal note from the Apostle John to his friend Gaius. Regularly welcomed Christian workers into his home, commended God for his deeds, and encouraged him to continue his ministry. Oh, okay, cool. So that was his encouragement. Period. All right, let me put that down. God is going to be there for you, y'all. I know you can't see me, but you can hear me. God's going to be there for you. And he truly is the master surgeon of hearts. He will give you a heart, take out your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh and make it soft. So here's our practical application to check in with yourself. You have to ask yourself these 3 questions. Have you been busy or actually healed? Have you? What emotions have you been avoiding through work or productivity? And where do you feel emotionally exhausted right now? Then you can practice this stillness this week. You can spend intentional quiet time without working or multitasking. You can journal honestly about what's been really weighing on you and just write it down. You know, I used to write letters to God all the time, especially in high school when I was a little depressed little thing. I used to write letters to God every day in my 7th block, like every day. They were long too. Like I would just write and write, just say, Dear God, blah, 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 blah. And then you need to allow yourself to acknowledge that pain without trying to fix it. Like, that's the thing. Like, God is a healer. You don't have to heal yourself. You can just ask him to heal you in the spaces where you're broken. And literally, if you don't know where you're broken, ask him to reveal that to you and ask him to show you, like, be careful with that because he will show you. But like, ask him to show you, like, hey, God, where am I broken at? I want to heal. And he'll fix it. He'll fix it. Like, you don't need to worry about that part. He will handle that. All by himself, because God is God all by himself. He don't need no help being the Lord. The Lord is the Lord alone. I'm sorry. I don't know who needed to hear that, but all this new age stuff out here be talking about crystals and sage and astrology and all this stuff. God is God alone. Jesus is the way, the life, and the truth alone. The only way to the Father is through him. That's it. He ain't say, bring me and whatever you found along the way. No, he said, follow me all by yourself. Drop your baggage, drop your stuff, follow him alone. Alone. I keep preaching that this is a solo journey. You do not need passengers on this boat. I'm sorry. Go forth and make disciples, y'all, but remember, your soul is the only soul you can save. It like you can only bring yourself to salvation. Sure, you can encourage other people and like get them to encourage them to study the Lord and grow in their faith and be an inspiration and that light on the hill and be like bing, 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 like I'm trying to do right here. Be like bing, 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 follow Jesus. But you can't save that. You can't do because only Jesus can do that. You can't be their God. Only God can do that alone. God is God alone. 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 God is God alone. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure y'all got that. All right. And then lastly, you need to rest without guilt. Okay. Practice resting this week without attaching your worth to your output because value is not earned through exhaustion. And anybody making you feel like you got to bend yourself over backwards and do the most for them in order to get love from them, they don't love you. They love what you produce. And they don't want you to stop production because then if you stop producing for them, they're not going to be able to get blessings by yourself. They're not going to be able to get the blessing by themselves. They're just not. All right. So here's the main thing. Productivity can keep you moving while your soul stays wounded. So healing matters because you can't pour well from broken pieces forever. Now drop one area where you know that God has been calling you to slow down instead of just pushing through in the comments. And next week, we will be talking about how you don't have to perform to be loved because you have worth beyond your output. All right. Like, share, subscribe, and save this. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.